for coming. I wanted to start with one of the big conversations happening here, and that is the war on Ukraine and the impact on Europe and Italy. Can you assess for us what has been the impact so far?
It's a very difficult situation. We believe in America. We are supporting the engagement of the President Trump and the American administration for achieving good solutions, for achieving peace. Not easy. Frankly speaking, I'm not very optimistic because of Putin. Putin wants to move on. Before Christmas, I think it's impossible to achieve an agreement. Why? Putin wanted to have more small towns and then to put on the table the new situation. And at economical level, the Russian soldiers are more richer than the workers. They pay 3 times more every worker in Russia. And then all the companies, the industry, the Russian industry today is a defense industry. To withdraw is very difficult for Putin. The only one solution, if we want to push hard Putin, is to impose new sanctions at financial level for cutting the money coming from Moscow to the border for paying the soldiers. For me, this is the only one solution if you want to push Putin. But it's not easy. We are ready for supporting President Trump in this action for achieve ceasefire or peace. We are ready for doing what we need to do. In this moment, we are ready for supporting Ukraine at financial level, at military level, at political level. Because in this moment, it is important to back Kyiv and Zelensky for the stability of the situation, and then to organize face-to-face Putin, Zelensky, with the President Trump also, if it's possible to do it, for achieving peace. Not easy, but it's the only one solution. Frankly speaking, for us it's a mistake to send soldiers after the agreement for peace. Italy is totally against, because we are not fighting against Putin, against Russia. Our idea for the security of Ukraine is a key solution if you want to defend the peace, is to protect Ukraine through an agreement, international agreement, model Article 5 of NATO. Without Italian soldiers, also Germany said no soldiers, German soldiers, Poland too, no Polish soldiers in Ukraine. For us, this is I think the best solution. Our Prime Minister, talking with President Trump, decided to explain this Italian position, putting on the table our proposal. I think for me it's the best proposal, not because it's Italian proposal, but I think it's the best solution also for having an agreement with Putin.
But Minister, what about the purchases of Russian oil? I mean, this is one issue that keeps coming up because Russia is funding the war with its oil. Can you do anything more to stop the Europeans from buying Russian oil?
We don't buy Russian oil. Italy decided to change its energy policy, leaving Russia, leaving Russian oil, leaving gas oil. Now we are buying oil in Africa, in other Asian countries, but no money in Russia. We don't send money to Russia on energy. We need to do the same, probably in other countries, if we want to stop Putin, because the key point is money.
We have had a discussion this afternoon about debt and about the global economy, and one of the panelists pointed out that the biggest countries that have debt that they are facing is the United States, Italy, and Japan. What do you want to say about the impact of debt, and can you give us an assessment of the economy right now in Italy and its debt financing?
The situation is very complicated because we are playing a global game. As you know very well, 2 days ago in China, a lot of countries, the autocracies all together, decide to be alternative. We are the West. Here is the West, here are the autocracies. The problem is a trade problem, the financial problem also. And we need also to protect dollar and euro because they are under attack. Of course, this is the competition. But we need to strengthen the cooperation between America and Europe. If we want to survive, if we want to defend the status quo, because for our companies this is crucial. In Italy, the situation is positive. First of all, because of the stability of the Italian government. For the first time, the government lives for 5 years. Probably 2027, in the next election, the national elections, the center-right will be the first coalition. Stability is crucial for the economy, as you know very well. Unemployment is going down. Growth is going up, not too much, but it's going up. We need to change at European level rules on climate change. In the last 5 years in the Commission, before this European Commission, many mistakes on this. To put unachievable goals is a big mistake. Europe is an industrial continent. To kill industry and to kill agriculture because of climate change is a big mistake. Frankly speaking, I am against the climate change, but we need to study pragmatic solutions, not political solutions, because the dream is a danger. We need to be pragmatic and to work step by step. We need to change what is possible to change, because our workers are working in industry and agriculture. If we want to protect our economy, we need also to study solutions against climate change with solutions on social problems. This is important. Unemployment should be a disaster because of a dream for unachievable goals. We need to have concrete goals, but at the same time we need to protect the employment. This is crucial. To protect industry and agriculture is good. The situation now is much better. But we need to move on in this direction. We need to change many proposals in defense of the automotive sector and the other industrial sector that are crucial for us. Then, on tariffs, this is another problem, important. I think for me, the agreement on 15% is more or less a good agreement. Of course, my idea is 0-0.
Yes.
But in this moment, is the only one solution. We are ready for investing more in America. We are ready for buying more, also gas, in America. This is a clear message to you. And then we need to work together, because the key point is the unity of the West. To fight America against Europe, Europe against America, is a super big mistake, because our competitors, the other team, China, Russia, Iran, North Korea, they want a fight between Europe and America. Our interest is to stay together, to work together in many, many sectors. There is another important point for America is an industrial country. Europe is an industrial country, raw materials. We need to have a common strategy. We need to look at Africa together. Africa is a rich continent with power people. For this, we need to achieve good agreement with the African countries for helping these countries, and at the same time to buy raw materials in this continent. Otherwise, without a West strategy, we will have more China, more Russia, more Iran in Africa. This is not our interest. We are against a new colonization. We are friends of Africa, but we need also more America in Africa. It is possible to do it through an agreement with Italy. There is an Italian Plan Mattei for growth of Africa, for investments in this country, in this continent, but we need to work together. Finally, we are two faces of the same coin. If you want to protect our citizens, we need to work together. This is, for me, the only one solution. Italy is doing the best. Of course, there are problems, but it's possible to achieve agreements also for resolving problems.
What you are saying is America is aligned with Italy on many of these issues that you mentioned, including the Eurozone in general, but particularly with Italy and America are aligned on all of these issues. What can you tell us about the threats that the U.S. and Italy must work together? What are the most important threats that we need to be aware of?
I think Italy is part of Europe. Italy is doing the best for organizing a good link, good bridge between Europe and America. And I think, finally, now the situation is much better than 6 months ago. The meetings between President Trump and the European leaders has been a success. So thank the Italian engagement on this. The question is the threats. I think, first of all, the security. For this, we are ready for doing more in defense. We believe in NATO, but we need two pillars. Now there is a big pillar, America, a small pillar, Europe. We need two big pillars, America and Europe. We are doing our best for increasing the percentage. We are now, after the 2%, we are moving on to the 5% in 10 years. This is important defense. And at the same time, it's important to have a common industrial policy. Business is crucial for growth, not for the entrepreneurs, but for the citizens. Without companies, it's impossible to grow. For this, we need together studying good agreements to back your industry and our industry working together are friends. Italy is ready for doing it.
I think it was very important that you mentioned the meeting in Shanghai and in China, where it wasn't just Russia and China, but also India. And Modi was with them as well. And I wonder if you expect that relations are getting frayed there and it is being pushed into China's arms.
Frankly speaking, on this I am more optimistic. Why? Because the Chinese interest is completely different from the Indian interest. India is playing its game, but the interest of India is completely different. The final goal of China is to be the trade queen, also using our market. India wants to be richest. I think it is important to talk with India. I am absolutely involved with the Italian government on IMEC, this important corridor from India through Israel, through Gulf, through Egypt, and finally to Mediterranean Sea. This is crucial if we want to increase the money coming from trade. We want to increase the businesses in this sector. Is crucial for infrastructures. Finally, will be an important political bridge between the West countries, the friends of the West, and India. I think Modi is not against us. India is not an alternative. India is in the middle now. For this, we need to work more with India. Probably has been a message to us, but now Modi is talking with Europeans. Also, I think we need a good bridge between Delhi and Washington, because India is very, very, very important. It's a democratic country. It's not autocracy. This is a key point. And for this, on India, I am more optimistic than on Ukraine, than the Middle East. But we need to work hard with India, because it's crucial for the stability. If we want to balance the situation, we need to have India not against us.
And this is why I bring it up, because so many companies went and moved their supply chains out of China, and they looked for an alternative. They went to India. And now we have this conflict, but I understand what you're saying. More talking perhaps will fix the situation. You have also been thinking about Gaza. Do you want to say anything about the conflict there and your efforts?
Very bad situation. Our position is very clear. We want yesterday a ceasefire, freedom of the hostages, to push out Gaza Hamas, because Hamas is a terroristic organization, freedom of the hostages, of course, and then our idea is to build for the future a Palestinian state. But before to recognize Palestine, we need to build Palestine. Where is Palestine now? I don't know. There is the West Bank and Gaza. We are working well with National Palestinian Authority. And for me, we need to back the National Palestinian Authority. It's a mistake to attack Gaza, also to attack the Christian villages, not because the life of the Christian Palestinians is more important than the other Palestinians, but because the Christians in this part of the world are crucial for the dialogue, for peace, for the stability. Finally, we are pushing Netanyahu and his government for stopping the attack against Gaza. We are absolutely against Hamas, but we need to achieve a ceasefire. Too many deaths, too many babies, too many women. Italy is the country with Emirates, Egypt, Qatar, Turkey, with more refugees coming from Gaza. In our Italian hospitals, there are a lot of babies coming from Gaza. During my visit to these babies, talking with the family, everyone says, we are against Hamas, never Hamas. We are not supporter of Hamas. Hamas is very dangerous for us. But it's not easy. Our idea is to work with Saudi Arabia, with the other Arab countries, for having the reunification through a United Nations mission. We are ready for sending soldiers under Saudi Arabian leadership, for example, for the reunification, for living in peace with Israel. Of course, the security of Israel is crucial. I underline, the security of Israel is crucial. We want to protect Israel, but to push out Palestine, the Palestinians, for me, is a mistake. Why? First of all, we will have more and more migrants in the Mediterranean Sea. This is unacceptable for us. The second, pay attention. The terrorism will use the Palestinians against us, using the war in Gaza for attacking us, because the terrorism is sleeping. It's not dead, it's sleeping. But this, we need to pay attention on this. Not easy moment for us, for me, Minister of Foreign Affairs, but we need to, for this is important to be united. America, Europe, but also with our friends. Abraham Agreement is very, 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 very important for the peace, but why Hamas organized this horrible attack October the 7th? For killing the Abraham Agreement.
Yes.
This is the goal. For this, we need to do what we need to do for the reconstruction of the project. Israel, Saudi Arabia, the other countries, for the stability, to live in peace, Muslims, Christian, and Jewish, in this part of the world. Of course, it's not easy, I know very well, it's not easy, but we need to do it. I believe in this strategy. And when we believe in the strategy, we need to work hard for achieving this goal.
Minister, as we wrap up here, I asked you earlier about debt, but the truth is that the Italian economy is one of the bright spots of Europe right now. What are your priorities going into the new year to keep that going and to achieve what you are talking about, peace? Give us your plans.
Peace is crucial. When there are Italy, for Italy, export is crucial. It's the 40% of our GDP. When there is a war on the east, when there is a war on the south, Middle East, for our trade is a disaster. For our economy, these two wars are very complicated. We are spending money for the protection of our vessels in Red Sea. There is a European mission, TEHA, with our Navy for protecting our vessels going from Italy with our goods to the Far East.
It's very dangerous.
Exactly. For our economy, peace is the first key point. Then we are working hard for helping the middle class. The middle class is the heart of our country. There are 4 million of small and medium-sized companies in Italy. We need to back these small industries if we want to survive, if we want to grow. We need an industrial policy with Europe, and then the flat tax should be a good solution. But finally, a message, the Berlusconi message, less taxation, less taxation, less taxation. If
Yes.
to do it is to work in favor of growth. Less taxation is a big message to the consumers. They buy more production, finally, more money for the state. This is normal, this is a liberal message. I want, as leader of my party, is a Christian liberal party. is the most important point. No taxation, no taxation, no taxation for growth.
Has the tariffs hurt the relationship in any way? The trade conversations were difficult for a little while.
But I think the agreement between Europe and America has been positive. It's possible to invest more in America, as I say, to buy more in America. And then there are a lot of markets out of the European Union, as Turkey, as Vietnam, as Philippines, as Japan, as Mexico, as Canada, for increasing the numbers of our exports, our goods going out. We have a strategy why I am optimistic also on America. Tariffs 15%. There are countries with more tariffs for this. It's possible to compete much better. The other point is the quality of Italian goods. You are American and also 50 Italian, but if you like a good Italian wine, you spend, for example, for one bottle, $10. But if you like this wine, if the price will be $100 more $5, it's not a problem. You will buy.
You'll spend it.
Exactly, you will spend the same. For this, I am optimistic because of the quality of the Italian goods. Made in Italy is the protection of our export.
Minister, thank you so much. It's a pleasure to talk with you, and we appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Maria. It's very good every time to talk with you on the most important international issues. Thank you for being here in Italy. Enjoy in Italy.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.